the gun controversy right here in Nairobi, where the Mombasa governor is now accusing the government of using the excuse of gun to harass him. Joho addressed the news conference attended by KTN's Murimi Mwangi, who begins our news coverage on Monday Night News.
Anyone covering live?
24 hours past the Sunday ultimatum, and Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho has stuck to his guns, telling of Interior CS Joseph Nkaiseri once more that he won't surrender his contentious firearms just yet.
For the last 19 years or so, there has never been any issue, any reported incident, any abuse or any misuse. So I can categorically state here today that there is nothing wrong I've done with my weapons that are licensed to me.
In a hard-hitting statement at Nkaiseri and the state, Joho now says that the firearms revocation order issued by Chief Firearms Licensing Officer Samuel Kimaru, preceded by the recall of his bodyguards, is just the latest move by the government in what he calls a long-running scaremongering campaign targeted at opposition politicians, which he now alleges began with the deployment of military personnel during the recently concluded Malindi parliamentary by-election.
A civilian election and a supposedly civilian government being supervised by military is a massive contradiction. The law is clear about the circumstance under which our military can be deployed. Mr. Nkaiseri and the presidency or the country a good explanation to this breach of law.
And in a petition to the Interior Ministry, the Mombasa governor now wants the order quashed to accord him a fair hearing over the matter. In the petition copied to Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet and Chief Firearms Licensing Officer Samuel Kimaru, Joho argues that Kimaru issued the order under duress, terming the move a blatant attempt to appease the ruling coalition, adding that Kimaru chose to pander to the politics of the day.
I will leave the matter of guns to go through legal process that we have instituted in the hope that we can return some decorum and professionalism to chest thumping and threats that national government wants to call debate.
But in a fresh twist to the standoff, the Mombasa governor has now sensationally claimed that the elevated threats of alleged regrouping of such gangs as Mungiki and other terror groups was also part of the government's strategy to launch fresh attacks at politicians seen to be critical of the government.
Just before the elections, the Interior Ministry came up with a tale that Mungiki and other terror gangs were regrouping. It was part of the scaremongering that will certainly re-emerge in the coming days to justify a crackdown on opposition, supporters and leaders.
Joho has been locked in a bitter war of words with the state, particularly after the hotly contested Malindi parliamentary by-election, and in spite of the expiry of the government ultimatum, the standoff appears far from over. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.